Good afternoon, I'm George Hopcraft and these are your 4 o'clock Solent Sports headlines. And it was a great evening for one Southampton striker.
Oh, how about that from Danny Ings?
Danny Ings scored a stunning overhead kick as England romped to a 3-0 victory against Wales at Wembley last night. There was also a first international goal for Everton's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was announced as the Premier League Player of the Month just hours ago. Ings' goal, however, remained the cream of the crop.
I don't think I was that acrobatic, to be honest, but I think tonight's a great progression for me, to be back in this environment with such a talented group of players. It says a lot about the hard work that's been put in over the years. So to go out there tonight, get my first start, score a goal, I'm extremely happy.
Eastleigh FC look to continue their perfect start to the National League season. An opening day 5-1 rout at Barnet and a 2-1 comeback victory over Torquay has seen them reach the top of the table. Reporter Tom Cresswell explored exactly what's happening at the Silver Lake Stadium.
And what a header that is! Ben House once again with a fabulous diving header. And it's 2-1.
Eastleigh Football Club will hope to continue their 100% win record in the National League when they face newly promoted side Altrincham tomorrow. The Spitfires have so far beaten Barnet and Torquay and sit top of the league going into the third round of matches. Manager Ben Strevens thinks that the away side could cause some issues for his side.
Yeah, look, it'll be another tough game. They got promoted out of a Conference North last year. Any team that comes out of that division, they're always tough teams, well organised, big strong boys, will cause us all sorts of threats.
Striker Ben House, who scored both goals in Tuesday's 2-1 win against Torquay, is a new arrival at the Silver Lake Stadium and already has 3 goals in his first outings in blue.
Yeah, I love it here, it's great, so kick on for the rest of the season really.
Strevens is excited for tomorrow's test and hopes to keep his side on their toes.
We'll concentrate on ourselves, hopefully make sure that if we play well then they may have to change for us. But they're going to be a tough side, they've had 2 promotions in the last 3 years.
There are no injuries in the Eastleigh squad, so Ben Strevens does have a full side to choose from going into tomorrow.
Havant and Waterlooville are staging a grand opening of their brand new 3G pitch today, which has been laid at Wesley Park. Our reporter Jack Finney is on the ground. Jack, what's been going on?
Afternoon, George. Well, it's been a fantastic turnout down here at the Draper Tools Community Centre Stadium for the launch of the new pitch. And we've been here all day capturing the reactions of a number of members of the community to see if the £400,000 cost and 8 weeks of tireless work will prove to be a shrewd investment.
Thank you, Jack, for that update from Havant.
The sun is beaming and champagne is being popped at Havant and Waterlooville Football Club before the league season starts. The unveiling of their new 3G football pitch represents a change, affecting not only the club but also the local community. The Mayor of Havant, Councillor Prad Baines, cut the ribbon, officially opening the new facility and was thrilled about the potential use the new surface will have.
It really opens up the facilities to all ages and all demographics. You have Portsmouth Women's playing here, you have youth teams, you have Sunday league sides, obviously the elite team. So really the facility is not just that elite club behind closed doors, Saturday 3 p.m. It's throughout the week, day in, day out.
Harrogate Town, a club who previously had a 3G pitch prior to promotion back into the Football League, know better than most how beneficial having an artificial surface can be.
Al Boxall Dockery, Media Manager, Harrogate Town AFC. It's how we grew a fan base, so all these kids are turning up and training in Harrogate Town kit. We've had coaching sessions with first team players, and every member of the Player Development Centre got a free season ticket.
From a football standpoint, the club is now much better prepared for all eventualities, ahead of a hectic fixture schedule.
My name's Gary Pratt, I'm the Facilities Manager at Havant and Waterlooville Football Club. Historically here at the ground we've had some issues with our grass pitch, heavy rain every time the game's called off, and a club at our level we really need to sort of move forward and making sure that we get our league programme done, and the easiest way of doing that is by changing the pitch to the artificial surface, and by doing so it means that the ground becomes more accessible for the community.
Stuart Russell, the secretary of the local walking football team Many Shades of Grey, believes his club will now go from strength to strength.
Because it's for over 50s in the Havant and Waterlooville area, I think having this pitch now as our home pitch in the stadium setting that we've got is going to be fantastic to attract new players.
The league season off with a home match against Maidstone on Saturday, with kick-off at 3 o'clock. Jack Finney, Solent Sports News.
It has emerged a former AFC Bournemouth youth player who was found dead in Winchester last month was due to appear in court the same day. 26-year-old Clive McConey was facing a charge of rape and 2 counts of sexual assault at Croydon Magistrates Court, following an incident in August last year. To boxing now, YouTube star Jake Paul can fight, according to unbeaten cruiserweight champion Hasim Rahman Jr. The social media star is set to face NBA player Nate Robinson on the undercard of Mike Tyson's return exhibition fight. Pound for pound amateur boxing chairman Steve Barnes shares whether he feels it's a good feeling for the sport.
Okay, yeah, I do. I mean, really, it's more exposure for the sport, and it's definitely something like myself. I think it'd be great if we were showing not just amateur boxing, but even low levels, or like when I say low level, I think beginner, start out level, professional boxing. People can get more awareness of the sport that way.
Next we have news from the mixed martial arts world, focusing on combat gyms and how they are coping financially with what they've had to change to meet the COVID-19 restrictions. Here is the report from Cameron Summers.
Gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
The fitness industry has been seriously affected by COVID-19 and the new rules and regulations that have come with it. In particular, combat and MMA gyms have been devastated by the virus due to the close-quarter nature of the sports and practices involved. MMA has always been a loud, abrasive, in-your-face sport, but lately, thanks to the pandemic, it's left gyms feeling quiet. We've spoken with Tyron Breslin, a trainer and coach from Dev Barrett's Karate and Kickboxing in Coventry, to elaborate further on how his gym and others like it have fared financially throughout this process.
Obviously, the financial situation with some gyms has been impacted massively due to COVID. Gyms have closed, people's jobs have had a knock-on effect on them paying for their memberships. They've had to cancel because they can't afford it no more. And then these gyms are still being run and having to pay bills for the gas and electric and the rent in the certain places. So yeah, it's been a big struggle for some places.
Tyrone also talked about the restrictions that have been placed on the gym that he works for.
With the organisation that I work in, everyone has got to be 2 metres apart. You're not allowed to do pad work. Every single surface has to be wiped down after each session. When people enter, they have to use hand sanitizer and they have to have their temperature checked.
MMA and combat gyms have been through a rough time in the past half a year or so, and with no idea how long these restrictions or the pandemic itself will last, they will have to struggle on longer than they'd hoped. Counting on restrictions being eased will be one of the only ways to tempt either old or new members to join the gyms. We spoke with Dan Mitten, a university student, who is one of these new recruits at New Generation Martial Arts in Southampton, to find out why he chose to join up.
Because in previous years I've sort of given myself the excuse that I don't have time for it, but now most lectures and there's not many practicals, everything's mostly online, so I've basically found a bit more time, so now I'm doing it.
Dan and others like him who have actually joined up to gyms because of the pandemic and the extra time that it has afforded them will be essential in helping keep facilities afloat. And although restrictions will limit what trainers and trainees alike can do in the gym at this moment,
especially with things like your jiu-jitsu and you're trying to imagine someone's there when they're not, it's like trying to grapple with a ghost basically, which is a little bit weird.
They can't wait to get back to normal. I've been Cameron Summers from Solent Sports News.
Oh, he's going out! He's out! He's out! He's out!
And finally, with COVID restrictions continuing to disrupt regional and national sport, our reporter Isaac Farnworth took to Gosport Borough to explore the dangers non-league clubs might yet face.
Up. And he's put it in! And Gosport have won the penalty shootout.
The impact of the coronavirus has hit the sporting world hard, and non-league football in particular has fallen victim to the financial problems caused by the pandemic. Gosport Borough of the Southern Premier League South are one team who have suffered, and their chairman Ian McKinney feels that the current restrictions on fans attending games pose a real danger to the club's future.
And we didn't start playing football again until September. We had to have friendlies, which we had to fund. We had to have travel that we fund, and then last week the FA Cup were kind enough to send us all the way down to Tavistock. If we get almost what seems like an inevitable shutdown again, like where we were before, we will now be worse off than we were before because we knew that we had something to look forward to, and clubs like this just won't exist.
The varying rules between leagues mean that Hereford in the league above are not allowed any fans into their ground, as they are classed as an elite team. It's a frustration for manager Josh Gowling.
It's difficult because, a club like ours last year, we had an attendance of 2,500. Okay. So, you look at other clubs in the league and they get 200-300. So for them it's great. For us it's a detriment to us really. So it's a bit frustrating because, people can go sit in pubs and do all this stuff, but you can't come to an outdoor arena, social distancing, and come and watch a game of football. So it's disappointing, and I don't really think it's that fair, to be honest.
The FA Cup also poses a financial problem for non-league clubs for a number of reasons. The prize money has been halved from last season for the first qualifying round, and the non-regionalisation of the competition means that there are large travel expenses incurred by the teams. Gosport, for example, travelled 8 hours to Tavistock on a Tuesday evening. Their manager Sean Gale shares his views on the situation.
Our previous round game was at Tavistock away. Now, with current circumstances, how is that sensible? You've got to regionalise it within closer area. We travelled 8 hours on a bus there because we got stuck in a crash, and another 5 hours back. Surely that's not sensible. But then, some of the decisions being made aren't sensible.
On the other hand, the restrictions on Step 1 and Step 2 teams have provided other non-league clubs with new opportunities. Daniel Darlington of the Maidenhead Advertiser points out that lower league clubs are bringing in fans who would otherwise have gone to National League matches.
Take, for example, a club like Burnham, who are on patch in the Maidenhead area. Because their local rivals, Maidenhead and Slough, at the moment aren't allowed any fans in. I think for them, they've actually seen a little bit of a boost in numbers for their home game.
That's all from us in an hour. Remember, you can keep up to date on our website, solentjournalism.co.uk, or on our Twitter page at Solent Sports Journalism.